Hi everyone. So this video we're going to be looking at a minimized budget scenario. We've had a few requests from this. A couple of folks have had some issues, so we thought we'd try and just address them in a video. So this is a common additional scenario that we run in the US. The basic context of this scenario is often you'll have a plan from the planners, and rather than providing an alternative plan that will produce more sales, you actually want to provide an alternative plan that will reach the same sales as the current plan, but at a reduced budget. So what we're going to show you is how to set that up. So first of all, let's just create the context by just getting a current plan to work with and sales number to work with. So I'm just going to demo this screen here as our base scenario. I'm just going to create it and run it all for you. Okay, I'm going to save this. I'm just going to open it up now and just do a couple of things, namely just create the, just enter a title and description. One second, just getting Excel to edit. Base, so I'm going to call this the min budget base because it's going to be just a base scenario that we're going to look at working with. Then I'm going to save that. Okay, and then I'm going to go back into the app and just run this guy. Okay, let's upload it, run it. So now that this is run, you'll see that we are getting, from our current plan, we're spending around 10.3 million US. We're getting a projected sales of 80.3 million US. So I'm going to just download that and just download the Excel output file just so I get the exact number to work with. And you'll see that the current sales is actually 80,274 is the current sales. So I'm just going to grab that exact number here so that I can then use it in my input file. And I'm going to go back into my demo file. And this time we're going to set up the scenario where we are going to use the current sales as a goal that we need to hit. And we're going to tell the optimization to minimize what's the minimum budget we could spend to hit that sales goal. So the first thing we're going to do is change our title, min budget. And then moving down, you'll see that there is now a field here called maximize sales or minimize budget. So we're just going to simply turn that over to minimize budget. And so we're going to now tell the optimization to optimize on the budget level to reduce that amount, and but still honoring our sales constraints. So the next thing we're going to do is go over to the goals tab, because this is where we enter the sales goals. And so this tab works in a very similar way as the constraints tab. We obviously don't pre-populate these with sales goals because our default optimization is to maximize the budget. But you can think about this in a very same way. So if you haven't worked with the constraints tab, we advise you first watch that video. But once you have, this works in the very same way. So what we can do is just set a very broad sales goal that we're going to run on CY 2016. And we're going to set the budget set the sales goal at what is currently projected for our current plan, and we're just going to hit use. So that's really all you need to do to set up a sales goal. However, one thing I want to just make sure that you are aware of is just to go back to your constraints tab and make sure that what you have in your constraint isn't conflicting this objective. And so we've seen this come up, so hence this video. In this constraints tab we provide by default, we already are setting the CY 2016 budget as a minimum, just because we are making sure that optimization spends at least 2016 budget and at max that 26 budget. So you can see that in this case, this is a conflicting constraint in the sense that what we're actually trying to do is reduce this budget to the minimum it can be so that it hits the same sales goal. So if we are then giving a constraint to tell it to spend 100% of the current budget, we're not going to see that minimized budget scenario play out in how we expect it. So what we can just do is delete that, and now we're not setting a minimum on the CY 2016 budget, so the optimization will be allowed to reduce that while still trying to honor that same sales goal. All right, so let's save that and let's see how that goes. Save that, then go back into my app. I'm going to go through and choose the file I just edited, upload, and run. And let's just give it a second. Run. Okay, so now you'll see that it looks like we have something promising here. You'll see in the current plan, we're spending 10.3 million to achieve a projected sales of 80.3 million. In the optimal plan, however, we only need to spend 5.3 million to hit that projected sales goal of 80.3 million, saving approximately 5 million US in budget. So you'll see that the critical point here was not just to set those sales goals, but to allow your 2016 budget to be reduced in your optimal plan, such that you can see that scenario played out. All right, hope that was helpful. Let us know if you have any questions. Thanks.